So, shift usage, positioning, E usage, railgun accuracy, obviously. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to overly break down what I think he should and should not be doing before the fight starts. So I'm just going to kind of like reactively explain the macro as we get to it, because I already have a pretty decent idea of how he should be playing, but I want to also see if there's anything I can learn along the way. Fat E for space, a lot of offensive pressure. Dante is low, that's it. Now, this is the proper diff, right? This is where Shock plays super aggressive to get proper in a good position early, because again, it's not just about the mechanics, right? Look at the charge, right? Look at the charge, look at the charge. Lower charge, he just now gets a shot, but he doesn't have a good position to. The E lands, but the problem with the E is that everybody just goes right past the E in Shock. Whereas proper Z puts them all in a good spot. This is just a positioning difference. Like this is the difference between proper has the better aggressive positioning that allows him to get the better E, that allows him to get better charge, that allows him to do more damage, like, and then allows him to actually get the shot that matters more. Merit is a really good Sojourn mechanic, really good. At times felt really like the best in the league mechanically, at least in the Western region. Like, it was unbelievably, like, better than Kai. I'm not even like, it was unbelievable. Aggressive position, shifts out, gets good E value, but they end up giving up positioning. Has shot. Now, one interesting nuance with Railgun, as we talked about on some of my reviews, trying to get to that 82 number and utilizing that for the one shot. But keep in mind that there is oftentimes there is a little bit of benefit if you could do it easily getting to 100 charge, because the projectile does get a little bit bigger, so it is a little bit easier to land. It's not significantly bigger, but it's a little bit bigger. So, okay. You notice the priority there. He could have gone for backline on Merit, but why go for that when you can force Wraith instantly or one-shot Pelican at point-blank range? Because the thing is if you body shot Merit, yes, it's value, but a body shot in Pelican is more valuable. So you should always be considering not just, okay, I need to hit the headshot, but also, even if I don't hit the headshot, what's going to do the most for my team? I mean, Reaper's gone. There's the E. We talked about E's, right? E's on the middle of a clump, but this E is going to force Merit into a bad positioning. Actually doesn't end up getting as much value as you would have liked because they were already on the way out. So maybe holding either would have been better. Off angle. There's the shot. The bell. Probably will charge from spawn a little bit. Yeah. Ooh. Fat E pre-fight will have time to get it back again. So I really like the angles that he's holding right now. I really like the angles that he's holding. He's getting charged so fast just by holding these slight off angles. And so far his E usage has already been significantly better than Edison's, who we did catch a decent amount of from the Dallas Field game. Oh my gosh, like, it's just, and again, like, you can look at this from like Merit's perspective. This is why controlling space is so important. Look at Merit's charge here. 0 charge, proper's at 93, right? Merit is just now contributing. Now Merit can build charge, but what's the problem, right? Bang, doesn't quite hit the shot, right? But it's still an unbelievable amount of pressure, and look at the E angle he has here, right? So that's a pretty good E from Merit as well, I will say, but this is just as good of an E from, I mean, look at this right there, right? Oh, it actually ends up missing. Chat, actually, we found a not great E from proper. You notice, okay, so this is the one tricky thing about E usage, but there's two things. One is Monkey Bubble, so it can be blocked by Monkey Bubble a lot. The other thing is it's tricky to judge the distance perfectly, because it is hit scan in terms of it goes straight forward in a line. It doesn't drop or, you know, go up and down. That's not really a good description. It's it goes in a straight line. There's no drop off. But the problem here is that the distance, like look at this right here. Look at this right here. Watch this. This is the max distance for E is like here. So proper eyeballs it and just misses by a little bit. And you guys saw even Edison doing this a lot. If you can't judge the distance correctly, the best thing that you can do is obviously to angle it at the floor, at the feet, where it will hit directly where you want it to go. But the danger in that is that it means you have to flick your crosshair down, which right now Proper is aiming at head level and then just throws out his E, right? It doesn't quite hit, so he just misses it slightly, okay? Usually will not see people pop Sojourn ult in the Kiriko ult, usually. But we're talking about a devolve fight now, so it makes sense. Ha ha ha. Seems everybody has E struggles. Where did that go? Yeah, I mean, everybody has E struggles, right? Just missed by a little bit. Just missed by a little bit. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So you actually can look at those E's as being relatively impactful that those missed. They needed to be on the corner. I think the positioning that he's holding in terms of the corner usage and the off angles that he's holding to build better charge is good. Target priority has been fine. The shots haven't landed. Nothing super crazy, just special to say there. Now we might see an E up here to create space to deny this peek here. He's gonna hold it, that's good. Force a Wraith, and then I assume we're gonna see bubble broken. And then he'll pop an E. There it is, right? But he keeps, jeez guys. We keep having this happen. He can't keep doing it again, right? I love the corner usage here. Everything is aimed at head level, right? You see that? There's some times with this composition where you can't even necessarily pick a specific target. So you see a clump of green backline, you just aim at head level. You will see shots like that. We saw that where Proper on Oasis accidentally, I think it was Proper, accidentally shot, who was it? Was it Edison? Accidentally shot Edison even though he was aiming for the Reaper because he was just aiming at head height. Yeah, Reaper arms. And look at the aggression, right? Look at the aggression. There's just a little bit of ego here, of course. I wouldn't say ego, but just a little bit of confidence. Right? There's the off angle here, trying to get for the backline. But again, is he scared of Dante? No. Because Dante starts to damage, he shifts out, everything's fine. Notice that, okay, I have shot, I'm on backline. Wait. No. That's not what I meant to say. The tricky thing, let me think of the best way to put this. So you do farm less rail charge off of tanks. So if there is nothing else to shoot, or the squishies are really hard to shoot, it is understandable to pressure tank line. But in this scenario here, if you can aim at head height and hit squishies, you're going to not only do actually more serious damage onto people that you want to kill, but you're also going to have a situation where you're going to build your rail charge faster than you would have been just shooting it at a tank, or certainly faster than shooting it at a bubble. Because remember, shields and bubbles feed much less railgun charge than they did in previous iterations of the meta. Something to consider. Unfortunate. And that's going to be the fight. Oh, nice. Well, okay, let me clarify. You do farm. Okay, let's you know what? Let's actually do this. So you farm the same from tanks, but The problem is, well, actually, I don't know. Let's actually find out. Railgun. I think you do far the same from tanks. But I think you only farm 1 point per shot on a shield. So an entire clip of 45 bullets only does 45 charge. Let me actually check here. Yes. So what I meant to say is it's different charge per headshot or body shot. That's my mistake. So it is 1 barrier, 1 shot per for charge per barrier, and I believe that includes inanimate objects like symmetric turrets and tourbillon turrets. It is 5. Oh, this is what I meant to say. Listen, this is really important. This is why I was thinking tanks do less. 5 for body shot, 10 per shot for critical headshots, right? Obviously. And then this is a really important one. 3.5 for armor targets. 7 for critical hits on armor targets. So the reason why I meant tanks, I didn't mean tanks, I meant armor. Armor. So you're talking about a hero like Winston, you're going to be doing significantly less damage. You're going to be doing 30%, getting 30% less charge from shooting a tank with armor than you would be shooting a tank without armor. But that's an important distinction that I should have made, because a tank like a Roadhog, a Sigma, whatever, obviously Sigma has the shield, but if a Roadhog, that's why Roadhog feeds so much charge, is because he doesn't have a shield and he doesn't have armor. So you very quickly build charge off of that target.
Doesn't get better than that.
Pre-fight charge is fine. Okay, so this is the really funny thing, okay? This is something that you guys need to be careful about applying in your ranked games, pushing up super aggressively like this. But the reason why it works here is because, again, you consider Merit's POV. Merit will build no charge. Merit is in spawn. Merit has nothing to shoot except maybe Proper. Proper has everybody to shoot from Outlaws walking out of spawn. So there's no real risk for Proper dying because he knows Merit will never have charge. But there is a risk for Outlaws dying here because there's 5 people for him to shoot, so he can build charge. So the reason why I'm saying you guys need to be careful if you were to reply this is because if you play up against a Hanzo, Widowmaker, on a Zenyatta, there is this current composition has 0 CC or 1-shot potential besides Sojourn shot. So there's no real risk for him doing this outside of maybe a Kiriko headshot. So he can ego like this super hard. In fact, not only he should. Entering this fight with a shot is really, really important. And we talked about that the previous fight where he was able to enter the fight and then again, like look at Merit, right? 0 charge. 83, 0. 83, 0. That sucks. Remember, because even a body shot is impactful. We might see an E on this rotate. Doesn't finish the kill. He doesn't use the E. That seems reasonable. Okay. Will we see a better E? We're going to push. There's the E. The E is good. But there's the Proper aggression. Why is Proper aggressing like this? They're calling Kiriko. Now they know, listen chat, they know that Outlaws also have beat, and they know that Outlaws also have Kiriko ultimate. But they know that if they don't engage here, they're probably looking for Lastro actually. They're probably looking to Ajax Lastro would probably be the play. They're trying to get a quick kill on Creative, a quick kill on Merit, a quick kill on Lastro, because if they can explode out here with a Sojourn shot, there's a chance that even though they have the ult disadvantage, they could win. So you would either have Shock play this fight really slowly or really quickly. They're going quickly because they have the mechanics of Proper to put behind it. They don't quite get the kill that they want. They do get the Sojourn, so that's okay. And if you hit one more shot here, fights are winnable. Not the best E, again, just off by just a little bit. Right? Because he clearly wanted to put it on the point, right? So like right there, he wants to put it right here and he just misses it. So, doesn't quite hit it. The shot between shots, you guys see that? Remember shooting between shots so you can farm it up faster? Nice. So really chat, I think Proper played reasonably there, but I think there was more to be expected in terms of some of the E placement, and I wouldn't even necessarily say there were bad E's in terms of intention. Just the mechanics of it were not consistently placed, which is kind of interesting. And maybe it means that with the way that this composition is being played, with how dynamic and how fast-paced it is, that these teams haven't had the reps to be able to actually like place the E's properly. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I can come to no other conclusion. The positioning there, the level of aggression, still utilizing corners, getting pre-fight charge, I think was a big one to point out. And then obviously trying whenever possible to prioritize squishies to build charge faster, as well as actually to get actually good damage here. So early aggression, charge. Is there a massive charge diff here? Not a massive one. Okay. So Merit's able to get good charge too. There it is. That's mechanics. It's a good shot. A little bit of an overextension from Lastro. And he takes it. E there is fine as well because it actually hit the monkey and it just hit the bubble.
Gotta stay on your toes, soldier.
Repositions his angle. That shift is a little odd. Let's actually take a look at this shift. Why does proper use shift here? So I'm not going to assume that I know everything, obviously. So I really want to like look at this here. So why does he shift over? I think, okay, well, you can see it right here. So this is actually a really heads up play and something that you guys can consider. We talked consistently about pre-fight pressure from proper, giving him a charge advantage that allowed him to play more aggressively into Merit. Well, the problem here is there's the shot. Merit's in the back. Merit has a perfect angle to shoot tanks and to shoot squishies, right? So he's also not seen shot. So proper knows that A, Merit still has shot and hasn't used it yet. Or B, Merit did use shot and he didn't see it. But given what Mikey's doing right now, proper can't really charge shot right now, can he? It's really, there's nothing to shoot. So why risk peeking this? I don't even think he sees the glow of the gun. Why risk peeking this when he can reposition, avoid Merit entirely, and contribute to the fight? So this is oh shoot. I think that guy has shot. I'm not taking that duel. I'm going to do something else instead. Right? Very heads up play from there. Very heads up play. I'm gonna turn on the light really quick so I'm not like going full DJ mode here. So it's all about knowing when you have the advantage in the charge, knowing when you have disadvantage in the charge, and adjusting accordingly. It's not exactly like a Widowmaker duel, but there are aspects of it that you guys have to kind of keep in mind. Yeah, I could be. Yeah, it's got. I don't know how other teams handled it, but I know London we fairly consistently called care shot, especially in one fight, right? Nothing worse than winning a fight and then dying to a charge shot because we just weren't ready for it, right? So yeah, that is also true. Yeah. Right, again, he's not peeking this. You see this? He's not peeking. Probably a little bit of early pressure here. Care. Right, again, there's 22 charge there, and there's no risk, right? If they dive him, he shifts away. It costs him cooldowns to pressure him. Okay, there's the shot. Perfect D, right? We talked about proper Z's being better than Edison's. They just weren't hitting. Well, this one hit. This one obviously hit. Massive pressure on Monkey, Bubble, Reaper, Lucio. Nobody can pressure here. Now, I will say proper's not super positioned here. This is a little closer than he'd like to be, and he messes up his shift as well. But yeah, so what we would have liked to have seen is like a shift probably back towards his team here. But I think he messes up his shift here. Yeah, but that is like an unbelievable E in terms of value. Like look at Pelican's point of view, right? Look at how uncomfortable this is for Pelican. Right? There's like 60 damage total plus the slowing effect. It's like there's so much indirect and direct value from that E. That's actually massive. All right. There's the shot, so now he can play a bit more aggressively. Yo, what happened to Proper? How did he get melted? He must have taken a shot from Dante. There's the zap. I guess he takes a couple of Lucio shots. I'm not sure. He gets actually like destroyed HP wise. Or was it a body shot? No? What happens, chat? What happens? Why is Proper low? Maybe it is a shot from Merit. Couple of headshots. I think just a couple of general spams. Oh, could be Kiriko. Ah, good catch, Go. Good catch, good catch, good catch. Let's see it. Ah, you guys are too smart. You guys are too smart. Yeah. 100%, 100% Kiriko. He might die for that. Ooh, no, he gets the resources. E is coming up. Excellent E. Right on top of the Reaper. Forces him out of cover into an awkward position. And he just actually, I think he actually just loses track of the Reaper. Yeah, he just doesn't expect him. Okay. E value from Proper has already been significantly better than Edison. The play around an E like that, there's really just no way. That's just the defender's advantage. Like, defenders have better positions ahead of time. You could potentially bait the E by turning the corner and not amping, but speeding just back out again. You can oftentimes bait Monkey Bubble doing the same thing. We've seen a couple of teams try that a little bit, but you can sometimes bait those cooldowns. Oh, sorry. Do you think high ground and Sojourn is overrated? I make charge shots a lot harder since you have the Y-axis to worry about as well. Yes and no. I think the benefits of high ground for better E angles and for better general safety are good, but I also don't think that you need to be prioritizing it at the expense of everything else. So there's a balance there. If it's a good safe position for you and you have good sightlines and it's a good E angle, then sure. But if you can also just play on the low ground and have an easier aim, then I think, yeah, it's fine. I mean, you kind of probably already can feel the answer to that question. It's yes and no. All right, there's the E right there. Too early from Merit. Ooh, was that a Kiriko headshot or was that a railgun? I'm sniffing Kiriko. I think we got a Kiriko again. Yeah, there it is. Wow. And then a little bit of pressure from Reaper, and that's pretty much it. Where can you view the POV for this match? Unfortunately, the replay viewer is only available for like tier 2 in Overwatch League. And I'm assisting a tier 2 team at the moment. I'm literally like, hey, do you guys need VOD reviews? I want the replay viewer. Like, yeah, sure. So that was what that was at. It's kind of silly, to be honest with you. And the thing was that, yeah, exactly, the Kiriko shots matter so much. And the thing is with that, to be frank with you, Creative technically isn't aiming them. He's just throwing them at head height and on the choke. So it's something that you guys could be doing in Kiriko a lot. Who do you think benefit the most in the Creative Iris trade? I don't honestly know. I've, to be honest, with not been keeping up with APAC as much. I think Iris is a great player, but I don't know how much, like, what caliber of player Creative was. That trade happened like right as I was transitioning into private coaching, so I was a little bit out of the loop. Now this is interesting. So fight plan here feels like a lot of mess, right? Both teams have used Kiriko ultimates, but there's gonna be a lot of ults used. So look how aggressive Proper is playing here. He still has a shift. Will we see a mirror from Shock or will we see a disengage? Disengage. Ooh, that was risky. I think he trusted the beat there. That's crazy. Do you notice the difference between Sojourn ults? We talked about this in our macro review. It is risky to pop Sojourn ult into beat because oftentimes the beat will then be used to engage upon you, waste your Sojourn ult, and force the enemy beat. So it's a 1 for 2. So you notice how Proper uses his, he waits, beats used. Now beat is starting to decay. And then as the beat HP is already starting to decay, let's go to last year's POV, right? The beat duration is already like a third up, if not more. Then he pops Q. So then he's gonna burn right through it and finish off that. As the beats expired, his Sojourn ult still going. Beats gone. And now we've got half of our Sojourn ult still going. There's the Wraith, here comes the Death Blossom. There it is. That's it. So really, really nice timing of the ultimate there. Really, really nice timing of the ultimate there. And again, a good E. Again, a good E. Macro is just like broad strategy, just like big picture stuff. That's pretty much it, yeah. So like ult economy, planning, very basic things. Not like he's using his reload animation to cancel it. Yeah, it's nothing like that. Now right now he's egoing Merit because he knows Merit doesn't necessarily have. Was that Merit? No, that was creative. Never mind. Disregard. I'm an idiot. Those hitboxes look way too similar. Great E, great E. Check out this E placement, right? Oh, perfect. It's such a good cooldown if you can place it properly. The only times Merit Proper has been missing it, it's just basically been shooting it too far. But yes, you did translate it correctly. Yeah, 100%. Probably a little bit of early pressure here again. I mean, we might even see an E. I was gonna say we might even see an E here because they have to push now. So this is what we would call an early E because Outlaws are likely going to be pushing now, so this makes it really awkward for them, right? There's the early pressure, there's the split on the monkey, there's the early bubble. Like, look at how Outlaws are positioned here. They should be pushing up and shooting Mikey in the face, but the E. So look at their body language. Watch their body language here. It's finally good to see some good Sojourn E's, man. It's been way too long. Watch this. Oh, I don't want to get close to that. I don't want to get close to that, right? Even just the pressure, I mean, even if you just compare it to Edison's E's, who were oftentimes just hitting Monkey Bubble, this one hit Monkey Bubble, but it also hit Dante. It did damage to Dante, and it did damage to Monkey Bubble at the same time. And it slows him, so he stays within range of being shot at for a longer period of time. It is really good at controlling space, yes. And then now it's like, okay, they're on the back foot. My E's shutting up this choke. I'm going to walk forward with my monkey. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. I'm going to walk forward with my monkey, and that's it. Easy. Blind E, but yeah, who cares? It's a one fight. All right, so mechanics obviously good. Positioning was pretty consistently good as well. I think some unlucky deaths and some things that could have been prevented for sure. But so far right now, the mechanics have been good, and the E usage has been good as well. Not perfect, but better than Edison. That's consistently allowing him to create more pressure than usual. I hear he goes off in this. I did not watch this match, y'all, but I heard that he went off. So you guys, I think, should be in for a treat. It's interesting to me, like how Merit... Oh, it's the Widow, chat. It's the Widow. I was wondering, why is Merit not charging the shot? It's because Striker's on Widow. That's pretty funny. Well, like, Merit really should be on a higher charge than this. Like, this is kind of bad. Like, we already in 47 charge from Proper because of the Widow swap, and Merit is still on... Like, Merit has nothing. You see how Proper is always peaking a little bit ahead of time? Now, for those of you who are my consistent viewers, we talk a lot about timing, right? Timing your peaks, timing your pressure. It's important that you get it right. Now, as we said on Nepal Village, the first round, Proper can be a little bit greedy with timing. Because if you look at the enemy team, there is very little to no range pressure or range threat at all. Even when it comes to outside of Kiriko shots, so there is no real reason to be ahead of schedule. There's no reason to not be ahead of schedule. And what ends up happening is then Proper always enters these brawls. You want to guess what charge Proper's at? What do you guys guess? Merit's at 25. What do you guys think Proper is? I would say probably 60 to 70. I would say 75. I'm going to guess 75. Oh my gosh, chat, we were totally wrong. 97 charge. Let's watch it from his POV. Look at that. Finds the head angle, swings just a little bit wide. Now you gotta be careful about this into a Hanzo or a Widowmaker, right? Obviously. But again, no range, significant range in the enemy composition, no sleep dart or anything that's gonna punish him for getting this greedy. It's just aiming at head height, right? And do you see that? He goes for the Kiriko, but then he sees a big juicy clump of green. He's like a cowl to grass. Ugh. Right? Like, oh, just aim at head height. Look at that. Oh my goodness, the charge, right? And then now the defending Sojourn has a quarter of his charge. And that's a big deal, chat. Remember, it's not just about the headshot. That means a body shot on a Reaper means a Wraith advantage, and so on. That's unbelievable. Is that an issue with Dante being too aggressively? You know, that's actually a really good question. So the question here is, yes. Let's look at this from Merit's POV. So the Widowmaker obviously makes it difficult, but is Dante being too sloppy with his peak timing? Because he's thinking, I'm gonna get healed up. I don't mind, but that is feeding Proper some extra charge. You see, Mikey's not peeking this really. Mikey's not peeking at all. You see that? You see that? You see that? You see that? Now he's peeking and now he's in. Ah. So, yeah. I think the Outlaws could do a better job denying Proper charge before they're actually holding the line. So yeah, that's a good little micro detail there. Good pickup. All right, so let's All right, so there's the shot. Here comes the E. Oh, and crucially, fat E. Holy mackerel! Look at this. Oh, Pelican's stuck. Dante's stuck. Good pressure. They're not even, because you're thinking like, okay, it's not doing a lot of damage. They've managed to avoid probably most of the damage, right? But because of that, look at Shock. They're like, oh, it's happening, right? It means that Outlaws are very late to the party. Outlaws are very late, and exactly a free rotate. And you're asking like, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate the sub, Arian. Of course. Thank you for the sub. So you're asking, why does he focus Monkey first? Well, chat, tell me why is Proper focusing Monkey first? Right here. Like right now, why is Proper focusing Monkey right now? Now, I think you could make a good argument for shooting Pelican here. A real good argument for shooting Pelican here. But I also think the Monkey's fine here. To be honest with you, I think that the answer is it's as simple as Dante's low. Like, look at Dante's HP now. If you get a headshot with this, he's dead. It's over. So a headshot onto a monkey doesn't always kill the monkey, but it would kill Dante here. So why shoot hard target when easy target will do? You know what I'm saying? Normally, I wouldn't recommend always headshotting a tank, but when the tank is this low and this aggressive, you shoot the tank. It's just easier. Right. It's that simple. It's that simple. He has not used bubble already, but he's taken too much damage. So he's now in a threshold to look at his HP right here. Bang, there it is. He's dead. I will say Pelican wouldn't have been a bad target there either, considering how aggressive Pelican was, and he was already half. But normally you don't always see headshots in monkeys, but you're gonna do it now. It could also be that they're focusing Dante down because they don't think Dante's gonna be that good of a monkey, but you know, I prefer easy answers, because oftentimes the easy answers are usually the correct ones. Focusing down the Reaper is always good. No clutch potential, and so on. Yeah, I mean, you can see the monkey's half. It's that simple. Monkey's half, let's go. We might see an E here. because you'll have it by the time the fight starts again. And again, this is what Proper has done so well, right? Obviously, this one's a little bit too aggressive. I will say that this is too aggressive from Proper by a matter of meters, right? But again, this is the difference. This is the difference. This pre-fight aggression from Proper is constantly keeping him one step ahead of Merit in terms of the charge. Now I get it. Proper didn't die, so obviously he's going to have a charge advantage. But Proper is not wasting any time. He's always pushing his advantage. Always. Now I will say Mikey needs to be careful here. Well, you see, here's the thing. Actually, screw what I said. The reason why Mikey can grief here is because Merit can't peek Proper. So once Merit gets to a certain point behind Proper, he no longer can even charge up his railgun because he beat him to the shot. So for him to peek to charge up his railgun, he could get one shot. How do I feel about the usefulness of Overwatch 1 content? I think it's pretty useful. I think it's fairly useful, yeah. And now there's the 100 charge. There's the tick on Lucio, still refreshed. I mean, this is so frustrating for Merit, right? And look at this now. Again, the timing here, this is screwy as all get up. But he's not going to get punished for it. There it is. Right, there it is. There it is. Guys, why aren't we shooting the Proper? Haha. And there's a brilliant E. It's over. It's over. It's over. Now, does Merit have shot? Do you see that? Do you see that? Look at that. Look at this. Look at this, chat. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to slow this down for you. What is Proper doing right now? Right now. Do you see this? What's he doing? Yeah, Mr. Zelly, absolutely. What's he using the window for? Yeah, exactly. He's checking for blue. He's checking for blue. He's either baiting the shot, but he's certainly checking for blue. He's checking to see what the enemy Sojourn's shot is at. He sees blue. Uh-oh. I'm not shooting that. I'm not shooting that. I'm not peeking that. Do you notice now, before we would have seen Proper pushing all the way up, right? And charging early, but he's not. He's not. Now he is. Why is he doing it now? Well, Merit's decayed. You see that? Merit's decayed. Merit no longer has his shot. Or he heard shot. No, he's decayed. So, there it is. Again. 40 versus 15. Even when it's not big, it's still big. Trying to think what Shock should do here. Again, I didn't see this match, so I don't know what they do here. I could see Shock pushing in aggressively with Sojourn ult here. That would be a very Shock thing to do, but I also think that they're close to Kiriko ult, so they could peel back and punish Dante, then Kiriko ult afterwards. I don't honestly know what they're going to do. I honestly don't know. Nope. Excellent E. Wait, was it? It hits a bubble. Crud, man. But again, you see like the intention there, perfect, right? You're not going to hit every E. It doesn't happen. Like we saw some well-intentioned E's from Edison as well that got clunked into bubbles, unfortunately. But this is unlucky. Okay. Shift out. Now Merit should have a charge advantage here. Yep. So he has to be really careful. There it is, and there it is. Like, do you notice?
Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Houston has a much harder time playing positions where Proper can't peek them. That seems to be the consistent theme so often. Where Dante and Pelican are struggling to play positions where Proper isn't able to swing wide and get an early angle on them. Because you're thinking, this is cover, right? Well, no, because Proper can just swing wide and shoot you. So unless your Sojourn has shot and Proper doesn't, and Merit just built his shot now, then they can't really swing wide there. Where should Pelican have played? I don't think... This is not a good corner. He could have played here. Because do you see the difference between these two corners? Chat, what is the difference between these two corners? if Pelican plays here versus Pelican plays here, do you guys see this? Watch carefully. Watch carefully. What's the difference between these two corners? Room to back up? No. You're not wrong, but I don't think that's the most impactful thing right now. Proper can't peek him here. If Reaper plays here, Proper can't peek him. Why? Proper can peek Reaper here, but Proper can't peek Reaper here. Why? What's the difference? Why will he get punished? Again, what's the difference between this corner here and this corner here? Ooh, you got it. You got it. You got it. Do you see it? Do you see? The distance between... Can you guys see my mouse? Oh, you can't. Okay. The distance between this and the corner is pretty long, right? You see the distance between Proper and Dante? You see that? What do you guys say? What would you guys say? 20 meters? 20 meters? 25 meters? Something like that? Oh, you did see the mouse. Okay. So there's your distance there. What is the distance between Lastro, which is where it'd be the Reaper would be? You see this? It's much shorter. This is only like 6 meters. 15 to 20, this is like 6 meters. So Proper has to be careful about greeting around a corner where he can get completely run over. But anytime that he can swing wide with distance, then he's going to be happy to do so. Now, he can do so because he is the most ranged hero on this comp. Now, outside of random Kiriko headshots, there is nothing that he needs to be afraid of. Kiriko headshots, which is usually not a concern, or charged Sojourn. Merit is not charged. He's not worried about it. Should Reaper flank to the room with a full health back? I mean, Reaper could play in here, yeah. Reaper could, like, you could have Pelican hiding in here, 3, 2, 1, explode and push out. You could, yeah. But that's the thing. So Proper is doing a great job finding these long sight lines where his hero is good. Oh my gosh, that's just disgusting. Now, some of you might be thinking, why are shock popping? Like, why would you pop ult here? I mean, honestly, it's just pop off, go kill, you know, go kill. But you're like, okay, you're up one. Shouldn't you just like play chill? Well, I don't know if we're thinking, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I do think that if we get one more kill with Assault after this kill, I do think that Outlaws will not get a recontest. I think this will be 2nd point cap. But this shot in the Sojourn is disgusting. Shooting between shots. You guys see that? Bang. Keep going, keep going. Oh my gosh. Keep going. And guess what, chat? Guess what? The enemy Sojourn is dead! And she will come out of spawn without a shot. So as long as the rest of Shock, Mikey, whoever else, don't feed Merit coming out of spawn, you could literally sit Proper right here and just spam spawn for the next 20 seconds. Literally. Look at this guy. Ah! Oh, man. That's just so tragic. And there it is. Going into the next shot. 100 charged. Merit. Oh, 41 charged. Uh-oh, it's decaying. Oh, it's decaying. That E is probably a grief. I think he's going to want that before the fight starts. Early. That's good. Keep them on the back foot. They match Kiriko ultimate. Massive E. Perfectly placed. There's the beat. We're going to see Violet mirror. Oh, no. Violet beated first. What? That was not good ult usage from Shock. That was not good. I missed that. I guess so. But that's unfortunate they don't get a kill off of it. Atlas have a good chance to win this fight, actually. Good E again. Good split. C9. And then Dante gets split. I mean, here's the thing: is like you could look at that and be like, well, why wasn't Merit getting a kill? Well, let's look at Merit's POV. This is the reason why. Like look at how cruddy his sightlines are. You see this? Oh, he almost gets the shot. He forces Wraith. He doesn't know the status of Sojourn's shot, but then at that point, the C9 has already happened. Yeah. Okay. Crazy, 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 crazy. From Proper. Puts him in such a good position to win the fight. Literally a great position to win the fight. That late in the thing. Could Merit do anything like that to fix that? I think Outlaws in general can do a better job avoiding feeding Proper early or playing corners where they don't feed Proper, and then try and pocket Merit to mirror Proper. So basically what you would do is you would have of guys, let's not peek early for no reason at all. Let's rely on Merit to peek early and get that scouting information. I wouldn't say scouting information, but like let's try and peek less and let Merit push up more. That's what I would say. Not the best E. Really don't think that one was a good use. Like right here, you see this? You see that right there? That becomes a mechanics gap. It becomes which Sojourn's going to hit more shots. And Merit's not always going to lose those guys. Merit is a phenomenal Sojourn in terms of like mechanics. So if Houston can keep it at that, then Houston can do an okay job. You see again, like he's always looking to take an early angle for early pressure. Right, do you see this from Merit? Do you see this from Merit? This is what Outlaws need him to do. This is what Outlaws need him to do. And this is what, and Dante's dead, so Dante's no longer feeding charge. But keep pocketing Merit, keep pocketing Merit, keep pocketing Merit. Do you see? Assuming he gets pocket here and can shift out, we're all good. Now the problem I have is this. This is this is me coughing. This is the difference right here. Check this. Do you see? What do you see? So I know we're focusing on Proper here, but let's consider this.
Thanks.
Fear. Not full HP.
Stay put.
Yeah. I mean, I think the E was probably okay. It wasn't bad, you know? But the shift was truly quite bad. And it's positioned to where he was likely to be pushed. Because remember, whenever Proper does this, 90% of the time, not always, because he gets punished for it too, but 90% of the time when Proper does this, he's always sitting on his shift, right? Aggressive, 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 push me, just kidding, shift away, and now I have shot, right? Merit. So Merit definitely overstayed his welcome, but not only that, he goofed up his shift. This is not Merit playing in too aggressive position. This is Merit not having a shift. Now, obviously, he's too aggressive for that point in time, but if Merit could have, he would have gotten out now, but he messed up. You could break down the micro even further by saying this. I don't like Merit being here. I would have liked Merit to have done this from this corner here. This cover is better than the cover Merit is in right now. So do you see this? Why is Merit here? And not, I know he's concerned about Reaper, but I would much rather Merit to be here with better cover than playing out in the open in car. You see this? Much better. Now, I'm not saying Proper did necessarily any better here, but generally Proper does better. And in this particular instance, Merit gets punished for it. Wow.
Right on the money.
And Proper is hitting the shots, man. Crack addict. Not a great E, but it doesn't really matter. The fight's won, so. There's early pressure.
That feels much better.
Ooh, Merit. Merit.
Hold it.
Ah! He gets rolled.
paint job after this.
Yeah, Merritt messed up. He goofed up, and that's what happens. Dante's not... See, even here, I look at this here.
Railgun still at full power. Not so fast.
That's a good E. But do you see how, like, Merritt doesn't really have that opportunity to push up here? Because, like, where would he push up? Maybe you could say he could push up, like, here. I think Merritt could position here, potentially, but it's tough. Like, this point of the map, it's a lot harder for really either Sojourn to walk forward. But the difference is that Proper, when given the opportunity, was taking it. What did Shock not use there? For sure, Proper was going to press Q, right, guys? Why is Proper not pressing Q? Think about it. We talked about this already in this VOD. Why no Q? Right, beat. Beat. Yep. There it is. 3, 2, 1. If he survives, he presses Q. He doesn't.
What am I?
Probably too much greed from Proper. Let's see how we could have played this one better. Let's watch. Because we know Proper likes playing aggressive. We know. I would have liked the E to have been saved for the actual push, and then you can get the E back quickly, because this E is obviously not impactful. He does focus the Reaper, forces Wraith. Great job. Remember, we talked about having that massive Reaper advantage early in the Kitsune ult is so important, so teams will often open by focusing Reaper in the Kitsune ultimate so that their Reaper shoots freely and the enemy Reaper is busy wraithing. That's actually a huge deal. Next thing to look at as well would be the actual ults themselves. So I do think that Shock show their noobiness, for lack of a better term, with their ult approach. I don't know what Shock were trying to do here, but if the goal was to force double support ult, then using your beat into Kiriko ult, it does not seem wise to me. I guess maybe you're relying on Proper hitting a shot here, but I don't know. I don't like opening with beat when you have Kiriko ult. I think it's too easy to disengage, survive with your full defensive cooldowns, and then you have your Kiriko ult to continue to go. Like look at Outlaws. They Wraith, they bubble, they kite, they amp, they Suzu, and then they just do it again into the beat engage. I don't like this chain from Shock, to be honest with you. So he goes in deep, he shifts in again. He shifts a little late, I will say. And he gets isolated and killed. And honestly, the beat just is not super impactful. I don't like Shock's ult change there. So I think Proper could have played that one a little better, but I think Shock's ult game, which bit them in the butt versus Dallas, was more the weakness there. Early pressure, guys. Early pressure. Did Merritt use shot? Yes, he must have. Merritt is just really having a harder time, at least with the current map. We'll see how he does on the attack, but Merritt is just not getting that early fight charge like a Proper is. Perfect range for Sojourn ult, right? Perfect range. Great E. Goes in with it. Probably should be the map. I mean, he's fine there, I guess. Just shooting gallery at this point. Not a whole lot to say. Yeah, I mean that's it. Okay. Yeah. So Ye old shooting gallery. Excellent job from proper building pre-fight charge. I think his E's in general were quite good as well. Definitely clearly playing his old economy around beat very well. Good play. Look at this charge, guys. Look at this charge. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, obviously there's a risk of Widow here, to be frank. But, I mean, look at this. Look at this guy. 83 charge! They haven't even walked out the spawn doors! He's 100 charge! He's 100 charge! He's 100 charge! Merit is on 0. And he's on 100 charge. Doesn't quite hit the shot. He shifted out. Oh no, crap, guys. Merit's at an advantage, right? Merit doesn't even have half a shot yet, guys. Doesn't even have half a shot. Now, I will say, a little bit of goofy from Proper. Proper does miss the shot, which sucks. In addition, I will say, listen to me carefully, I don't like the E. I like what Houston does here. This is good from Houston. Shock is kind of pulls a funny. They build charge really early. He uses his E. His Kiriko goes on a flank and TP's out. And Houston are like, let's go, y'all. Let's run these boys over. And guess what? It works. They might not get the kill, but look at the space they get, right? This is really, really good. How does Pelican die?
Let's get this done.
This should not happen. Houston made the right call here. So it's not a great E from Merit, and then it's a little bit of an unlucky mechanical play. But I like the early aggression from Proper, but I don't like the E from Proper. I would have liked to have had the E in the corner. But I'm not going to coach results. We're coaching intentions. What the Outlaws tried to do there was good. For the most part, what Proper did was good. I just didn't like the E. I love the off angle there. Very safe off angle. That E is meant to try and split the peel. That E was not intended to hit anybody that was meant to split. You'll see that sometimes. Early pressure, early pressure, early pressure. He's not quite getting the shots there, but again, you see how he's again entering the fight at a charge advantage. Again. Nice E. Look at that. Look at that. He doesn't get the initial hit, so he waits until Monkey Bubble breaks, and look at that. E. Oh, wow. We love it. All right, let's see. Oh! Look at the aggression. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Get out of the lobby. Get out. Out of the lobby. He just doesn't care. What are you going to do? Dive him? He's going to shift away, you moron. Get out. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Just doesn't care. Bunch of peasants. Big E. Leave the lobby. Out. Go. Scat. Get out of here. Be gone. Look at the ego here. Look at the ego. I guarantee. Do we see more pressure? Do we see more pressure? Do we see more pressure? Do we see it? Do we see it? Do we see it? Do we see it? Why are we playing defensively all of a sudden here? Now it's hard for you guys to see in the replay viewer. That's usually way more obvious in game. It's because of the washed out colors like the whites and stuff. But I'm like, why is he playing so defensively now? Well, this is why, chat. He sees shot, but even if he doesn't see shot, he knows shot because he knows Mikey was pushing in really aggressively, so that he knows Merit was just charging off a bubble. So I'm not even sure that he actually saw that Merit had shot there. He probably just predicted it. He probably just predicted. He's like, okay, do you see how passive he's playing now? Look at that. Very passive, very passive, very passive, very passive, very passive, very passive. And now Merit's to get a decay. And now do we see aggression? A little bit of aggression. And there it is. That's a good E. That's a good E. Well, okay, it's not a great E. Actually, it's not a great E. I would have preferred him to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh. Really late Kitsune from Fen. Or wait, what happened here? What happened, chat? Yeah, the E's not great. They get the kill on Lastro, but yeah, Mikey just gets destroyed. And by the time Fen ults, yeah, Violet's caught up. Okay. Good ult though. No beat on the table, so you can use your Sojourn ult to your heart's content. again. It's like, let's look at this. This Merit has shot. Crazy. Even the body shot there. Okay. And now, here comes the ego. Here comes the ego. Here comes the ego. Right? Why? Because he knows Merit doesn't have a shot. Don't peek, boys. Just pocket me. Don't peek, boys. Just pocket your daddy. What is he doing? Again, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. They're going into the Death Blossom. Look at that. Still has a charge advantage. I mean, we can count on our thumbs the number of fights that Shock have gone into, or Outlaws have gone into with a higher charge advantage. Again, Merit. Poor Merit. Uh-oh, Mikey's peeking though. Mikey is peeking a little bit, I will say. Okay, now, this is really important. I want you guys to tell me how Proper should play around Merit's shot now. And then I want you guys to tell me, why is Mikey feeding? Because there's two things to remember about this. Defensive, right? Exactly. So Merit's going to have a charge advantage, right? There it is, right? Okay. Right, for Kirkul. They don't have any ults there. They know that they have double DPS ult. So then they're going to... He has to play defensive. Build a Kirkul ult. Don't ego. Don't do anything. Don't peek that Sojourn. Don't... Careful. See that? See that? Even how he's moving is shifty. You know what I'm saying? He's moving shifty. And he still builds charge. Sick. So I think we messed timing here a little bit. I'm not sure if there's a miscommunication or just Proper being a little sloppy with shot. But he needed to be careful there. He needed to not cross the corner and just take the shot and or wait for Kirkul, because they're not quite there yet. So this isn't great. There it is. Probably going to try and focus down that Sojourn. But that was the right plan. That was the correct plan for Shock. It just wasn't executed as well as it should have been. Get Suzu out, that's true. I told you guys, Merit has a good mechanics. Merit has good mechanics. You seem to remember Proper hitting that? All right, let's check Merit out. Hey. See, this is where Merit was just... Proper was just a little bit more aggressive pre-fight for that shot. You know? I don't know if that's good or bad. I would say at least to an extent, it's good. I don't know, chat. Like, we go over the grand finals. And Mikey was making a lot of mistakes on Monkey, but I don't think Mikey played really that horribly. I think Mikey played okay. I think the issue is more about the synergy and less about the individual Monkey errors. I reviewed Glads versus Shock. No, I have not. That E! Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that E.
That feels much better.
Again, right? Always, whenever possible, charge advantage. There it is. E and then shot. Or shot then E, probably. Alright.
We're going against the odds.
Yeah, Merit is one of the best Sojourns in the league. At least mechanically. When am I adding 100k channel points option? Become adopted. Do you see this? Do you see the ego here? Like, again, like, the reason why he can ego like this is he knows that the rest of his team isn't really peaking Merit. There is no reason for Striker or Violet or Mikey to be peaking Merit. So we can predict here that there is a charge diff, right? That's such a little micro thing, but it's actually so important to how Shock play, right? It's so important to how Shock play. There's the engage, Merit 34, Proper 83. So it's not even an attack versus defense thing. This is a team. This is just how the teams are operating differently. Break the bubble. We're gonna probably throw E. I guess there would be my guess. There it is. Yep. And then now here's the shot. Merit still doesn't have a shot. Proper does. Yeah. Doesn't even get a chance to pull it. Okay. I will say Proper's E's have been consistently. I don't know if they're good because we haven't watched a lot of Sojourns in the league, but they've been pretty good. They've been a heck of a lot better than Edison's E's. Significantly more impactful in team fights.
My ultimate is almost ready. My ultimate is almost ready.
Now, we don't expect Proper to press Q here unless he's shooting Lastro, and maybe we can get an Ajax here. But probably don't expect a Q. I mean, that's just Kitsune Rush, y'all. Kitsune Rush. And here comes Proper. Wonder what Proper is doing, guys. I wonder what Proper is doing. I mean, you could even look at Shock. Look at Shock. Look at Shock. They're just sitting. They're just pocketing Proper. Pocketing Proper. Pocketing Proper. Right? Charge difference. Don't peek. Don't peek. Don't peek. There it is. The hard engage. Bang. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. So listen, we have to credit the rest of Shock as well for doing a really, really good job of not feeding Merit charge and allowing Proper to charge his shot. And will they press Q? Will they press Q? I mean, we obviously know Houston are going to press Q here, but Proper won't. Probably not. What will happen here is they're going to force Q. There it is from Lastro. In about 2 seconds, maybe sooner, Violet's going to press Q. And then about 1 second after Violet presses Q, or even 2 seconds after Violet presses Q, then Proper's going to press Q. And they're going to win the fight. 3, 2, 1, Q! No? There it is. Huh. I'm a terrible coach, chat. Shame on me. I mean, that's over. It's over. They got the kill. It should be over. Surely, chat. Surely. Uh-oh. It's lasted too long. Kitsune. Maybe winnable. Maybe. Oh, no. That shuts it down. Let's see that shot, Merit. Beautiful E again. And notice how he uses his monkey's pressure on the enemy Sojourn to get the pick. And we don't even need to watch the rest. It is over. Alright, man. The charge is just unreal. Like, always a head-end charge. And not very impressed, but I am impressed. I am impressed with Proper Z's. Let's keep going. Why did Merit use ult so late? I would imagine he probably didn't have a great sightline. It didn't feel like he had a good, like, vision on where he, like you can't just press Q, right? It's like, I think that's why Proper delayed his as well. Is his sightline wasn't very good for it. Well, let's actually watch. Let's see real fast. Yeah, see, because this is why. Because Merit isn't thinking we're fighting here. Merit's thinking, oh, we juked it, guys. Nice job. Let's get out and go to point. But what happens is Lastro gets isolated. He's like, crap. So he'll pop Q once the fight actually starts, right? There. So I actually think the timing from Q from Merit was actually perfectly fine. Yeah, they got split. So Merit doesn't want to pop the Q because they weren't fighting there. They're going to cart. So I don't think that was a problem for Merit, yeah. How many games are you doing on Proper? Just the one. Just the one versus the Outlaws. This guy's symmetric turrets. Whatever. I've watched too much proper. I was fully expecting just to shift up there. I don't know why.
Disrupting.
Cute little disruptor shot. Doesn't quite get it, but yeah. Now we fully expect Merritt to almost always have a higher charge again on defense because Kaluj has to take space, right? So we expect Merritt to have slightly more charge.
Railgun charged. What's the rush?
He's good. Nice. Oh, he saw a shot. He saw a shot. Oh, crap. He shifted and he's like, oh, crap. That Merritt has shot. Here comes the proper special. Huh.
Going somewhere?
We've seen this in the spawn doors. I think the fight's going to happen in the next 10 seconds, so I don't like to see. But yeah, again, look at the proper special, right? Right? Look at the difference, right? 30 charge. Always ahead. There it is. Does Merritt have his yet? Not quite. Huh, that's it. Now Merritt has his. Ooh, that was close. Not great positioning from Shock. I'm curious, like, there's a lot of hesitancy that sometimes happens in, like, even Overwatch League Sojourns, where they're like, they see the shot, but they're like, I don't know if I can get it, right? So, like, watch this really quick. He's got the shot.
Railgun charged.
But it's hard to see. Is that the head? Could I shoot that? Oh no, I missed my opportunity. Okay, am I aiming at the head right there? You know, he probably could have taken the shot here. Sometimes you see that where like the Sojourn just kind of like they don't hit the window, right? So even the best Sojourns miss the window, right? How do I rate Dante's Winston? It's really hard to say. I don't think the matches have been terribly one-sided so far, even the Kothrons. So definitely focusing more on the Sojourn though. This isn't like a general analysis. Nice E. Ends up getting Suzu'd, but we could see a Q here. I don't know if we're how tight they were tracking beat here, but we could see proper press Q here. Definitely no Q now. I mean, even though they've used beat, they're down one and they're giving up space. I still don't think we see a Q. Yeah. They really want to make sure to be able to confirm it, right? It's like finding the balance between overthinking the shot and underthinking it. It's really important, actually. Look at the charge, right? He even used his shift in a position where I don't think I can be pushed here because he was like, I need charge! Right? He needs charge. Somehow he still has more charge than Merritt. I really do think Merritt could be pursuing this charge war, though. I really do think, like, it's sanity to me to like that every single time that somehow Merritt is behind on charge. Like, I don't think Merritt should be going back to his team. I think that's a mistake. Merritt should be peeking here and charging shot. Proper does not have charge shot. Like, unless they call that he specifically has shot, Merritt needs to be min-maxing every opportunity to get charge. I think Proper's doing a better job of it. But why did he scream that? I have no idea. No idea why. He's an idiot. No, I don't get that guy. Nice E! Probably see a Q when as soon as he's stabilized. But he doesn't stabilize. Like, you're not just gonna see him popping Q in the middle of like going Rambo mode, you know? If it's too chaotic and everything's going on around him, it's too hard. Shot, charge. And again. You see the charge difference? It's crazy, man. Crazy. Oh my gosh. Every time. You notice that that was not a headshot. That was a body shot plus E. Obviously. But my point being is that those shots are like winning them so many fights. What is Proper's target priority for getting charge? Whatever's available. Whatever's available. Really, truly, whatever's available.
I'd stay down.
The problem with giving yourself a target priority is if you can shoot squishies easily enough, then go for it. But the most important thing is that you do charge it, right? Without dying, without peeking the enemy team too much, right? And again, there's the charge difference, right? Again, both of them are relatively even because they're shooting each other, but the difference is that Proper will continue to pursue. He'll get healing, he'll continue to pursue. There's the healing. Oh, we lost it. Oh wait, no, he got it back. He got it back. He got it back.
Railgun charged.
Now, he knows that Merritt has not been shooting. Let's watch Merritt.
Thanks.
So once again, we have a charge differential. Huh. Right. I wouldn't blame Merritt either. I think Merritt, well, okay, to be clear, I do think Merritt could have been doing a better job pursuing charge. I think this is a three-pronged approach. I think Proper gets credit for pursuing it. Merritt deserves a little bit of the blame for not pursuing it as consistently. And I also think Shock is doing a good job denying charge from Merritt, and Outlaws are not doing a good job denying charge from Proper. Especially at points in King's Row, it just felt like Dante was peeking for no reason and just basically feeding. So I would say three-pronged. I actually mean four-pronged. There's a lot of things that you can blame or compliment based off of it. Oof.
Thanks for the help.
So let's watch, like, what can Merritt see here, right? There's the shot. They're not peeking. You see that? Not peeking. Not peeking. Still has shot. Still has shot.
Railgun charged.
Ooh, you see that? You see that? Spooky. There's the shot, and look at that. There's the jump. There's the shot, there's the jump. They're actually using that shot as a cue to jump. The shot guard. And you also see Proper uses that as an opportunity to go aggressively too. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was kind of an int. I think the Kitsune just entirely missed, or the Suzu missed. Like, let's watch Fence POV here.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
I mean, he just couldn't quite reach it through the bubble. That's a little bit of an int from Proper. Kaluj gets booped as well. Oh, yeah. He's relying off of Winston Bubble. Great catch. Great catch. So he's Proper relies heavily off of Winston Bubble in those engages to buy time so that his team can Suzu pocket him out, and or he can get his shift again from the Kitsune ult. Nice catch. Now, Proper has to be careful here. Merritt should have a higher charge. Yeah, he does. He has shot. Never, don't peek Merritt. He knows where Merritt is. He knows where Merritt is. Don't peek Merritt. Don't peek Merritt. Don't peek Merritt. Don't peek Merritt. Haha. Nowhere to go. I have no flippin' idea why there's no weapon sounds. I've got no idea, actually. That's a great question. I was just now noticing that. I'm like, wait a second. Maybe it'll fix now. Maybe if I reset it. What the heck, man? I got no idea. That's right. It's a distraction. Focus on the real
They
pleasure.
won't quit. Neither will I.
What's up?
All right.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay, to be fair, second point, Route 66 freaking sucks. So it's not just a shock problem. Like, there's every single choke feels horrible. You have to push cart. All the high grounds in the world are like super dominant. It's a rough one. So clearing across now at this point in time, because Proper doesn't have like good sightlines here, you can probably predict that Merritt is going to be more charged than Proper, so Proper's playing accordingly. Avoid Merritt, avoid Merritt, avoid Merritt, avoid Merritt. Ooh, carrot.
Thanks.
I don't understand that move from Proper, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's just like a trying to clutch it or what, but I think it might be just trying to clutch it because there's 15 seconds left, you know, but that seems a little foolhardy. Tragic. Never gets the opportunity to actually get the space to prop Q. Now, I think that there probably should have been a Q press there, at least to try for an Ajax, right? Try and kill the Lucio before the beat. That should have happened. But this is what I'm talking about. Like when the Sojourn feels under pressure or doesn't have good position, they often really don't press Q. They do not like pressing Q there. No, so this meta is more about the Monkey Reaper pressure, like the timing and forcing cooldowns, along with having your Sojourn charge. I would say yes and no, but I think early neutral pressure from Reaper is very important. Now, the maps this map in particular, your Reaper's impact is going to be lower. Sojourn's impact is going to be higher. However, on maps like King's Row, getting your Reaper and Monkey timed are oftentimes even more important than just your Sojourn getting shot. We saw Dallas Fuel win a lot of maps off of Monkey Reaper. A lot of maps off of Monkey Reaper timing. And not always diving backline either. Just timing on the front line, winning those frontline trades. Because if they dive backline, they use their cooldowns. And the enemy team, like this is the thing is the chat, the risk with this is I don't want you guys watching this and thinking too much about like how to apply this in rank too much. Because the risk is like, oh, charge your shot early as Sojourn. Yeah, but what if they got Widow? You know what I'm saying? What if they got a hunt? What if they got something that can hit scan plink you down? Even an Ashe could be a real problem. And then, oh, Winston not often diving backline. Well, that's because the backline of these comps has escape cooldowns galore, right? But if they were running like on a Zen, Widow, Hanzo, anything, even like a Baptiste, you would see these monkeys going more aggressively in backline and not wasting time with Reapers. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very specific and very unusual meta in that aspect. You want to apply this in scrims? Okay, well then there you go. It's all about your Winston Reaper's timing, Sojourn charging shot, hitting shot. And then things like Sojourn E as well. Okay, so we get, again, a little bit of a charge build here. Advantage. Miss the E just slightly. I think this is where I prefer to hit E. Excuse me. Like right in the corner of the boxcar. That probably would have been okay. Because it's difficult. He turns his head towards the enemy threats for too long. Ooh. Massive E. And that saves Shock out. Keeping his charge fresh. Oh, he's about to decharge. He's about to decharge. Shit, he's about to decharge. Oh, that was close. He almost dies for it, but he's got to keep that railgun charge. Fat! 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 More damage! Huh. Ah! Okay, so let's watch this one a little bit slower, okay? I'm getting sloppy in my old age. Okay, so let's drops for the Kirikou ult, takes a railgun shot, charge. They beat engage. He's gonna go hard to try and follow up. Now, I will say this. Do you guys remember what we talked about? Do you guys remember Proper's error versus Fuel? The error that happened at least a few times and he died for. Do you guys remember? I don't know how many of you guys were here for that stream. But there's one thing that we said about Proper that he needed to do a better job of with his aggression. Right, yes. He did not do a very good job playing around beat with his shift. You guys hear me? Shift. So the thing is that when Proper shifts in here, trying to finish off a kill, the problem is then Outlaws press Q, and he's okay, probably, but he's a little deep. You see? So then, oh, it's okay, I've got shift out, I'm all good. Well, maybe not. You see? So a little bit of hindsight coaching. I would not say that this is bad because he does land on a high ground position, but there are risks about that play, and the risks do show up when he goes for that. So, yeah, there's a lot of shifts in this comp. Did you catch the end of the stream? Yes, you caught it. Yeah. Out. Ooh, no, terrible position for proper right now. Oh, they beat. Oh! Oh, oh no. Oh. 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 Haha. Nice. Devolved fight, messiness, decent positioning, all set. That was a crazy beat. That was a crazy beat. Oh, is this the end? Well, you probably have another 15 minutes, I'd say. Look at that. Little shifter. Ooh, look at that. Got it right through the crack. Right there. Right, squeezing in right in there. That was good. Okay, gets the charge. Ah, not quite.
60 seconds.
A little bit of charge early, but he doesn't know the status of Merit's charge, or he knows that he has shot. It's so hard for me to see with the not in game. It's actually so much harder to see. Like, let me show you guys. Do you see this? Like, everything just kind of like glows, so it's like impossible for a spectator to see if there's a shot or not. You know. So he sees that he has shot, so he doesn't peek. Probably throw an E right in down here. Oh my gosh, there's the E. There's the beat. Beat was late though. Really a phenomenal trade for Shock there. They loved it. They love it. Nice. Pushing in with the team. Okay, if you had to replace one of the two heroes in this comp, what should we replace it with? Man, I don't know. You would probably go Moira Lucio. Probably. It would be terrible, but... I mean, it wouldn't be terrible, but it would probably be Moira Lucio, to be honest. But if this comp is played with Moira Lucio, I don't think this comp would be meta, to be honest with you. Kiriko is what enables this comp to beat other comps because she can dive with the other heroes, whereas Moira doesn't have as much range, doesn't have as much utility, doesn't have as good of an ultimate. You're like, yeah. Moira Lucio is the closest to what this composition would play like, but it would be significantly weaker. Kiriko is a better Moira. I mean, yeah, Kiriko is the best dive support we've ever had. So good, so that it's right now I think it's very difficult to see anything other than dive being played at the highest level, or some sort of dive variant, right? More early charge pursuit. That's a great E. Wow. I do not know how Shock died there, to be honest with you. I don't know what Shock died to. I don't care. I'm watching proper POV. Get ruled. Yeah, a lot of the hero substitution things are just complete and utter speculation. Wow, they're flipping the map. They're flipping the map. They're flipping the map. Now, the reason why you see people flip the map is usually one of two things. They don't have any ults and they want to try and force an early fight and force the enemy team to use ults. But here Shock have ults. There's no real worry to here to force the fight and try and have a dry fight. So the only reason that Shock would flip the point here is because they want a second fight. If they play it slow, Outlaws will be able to push the cart to yoinky, 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 and then it becomes a one and done fight. That spooks Shock. Shock would like to be able to stop the cart here, and then if they lose, they get a recontest. If they win, they keep the cart stopped there, and they keep fighting until they lose, and they still get a recontest. You guys see what I'm saying? So, that's the reason behind this play. Guarantees 2 fights. I mean, it kind of sucks that costs primal, but it's really important that they get 2 fights. Shot on Dante when he's relatively low. Monstrous E completely splits the rest of Shock, or the rest of Outlaws. And we might see a Q here soon because there's no support ult. So let's see. This is probably where we'll see a Sojourn ult. Next time Houston tries to take any space, we'll see a Sojourn ult. I mean, again, look at these E's, guys. Look at these E's. I mean, is it early? Yes, but it forces a split. They get to capitalize off the split. Brilliant shot from Proper. Let's watch that shot so everyone can have a little bit of a dopamine rush. Yay! Is this going up on YouTube? Likely, yes. Grim! Calling my cat. But he listens to me about once out of every 15 times. I was playing fetch for them yesterday. Didn't know cats could do that. Nah, blah, blah. Waka, 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 waka. What is that? Waka, waka. You ever see like the heart eyes? That's the noise that like my head is making after seeing this shot. What? Especially on like that vertical axis there. What?
The money. Stay put.
Aruga! Alright. Care. Yeah. You see, the problem with substitutions is, I think it's a fine question to ask. I don't blame you for asking it. But the problem is most of the time with substitutions, it will often if there's no obvious answer besides hero pools, usually it comes down to like the internal decisions or like the inner workings of a team that are really hard to say. Like, I can tell you a lot of times when Backbone would play over Shax in a situation, because Shax plays a pretty decent Reaper too, but Backbone was more vocal and more comfortable communicating that, right? But that was really hard to tell. It wasn't really obvious to tell that all the time from watching scrims or watching Overwatch. If you weren't inside London, you might not necessarily know that, right? So it's hard to say. For blocking lanes, I mean, I think it's fine because like I think it just depends on the circumstance. The problem with Sojourn E is it's such a dynamic cooldown that like every 5 seconds, like the use for it changes, right? Like right now, you would use it to zone backline, right? But then earlier, you wouldn't have been able to zone backline, but you could have split backline and then allow you to get a shot elsewhere. So 3, 2, 1. As soon as the bubble breaks, we're gonna see E. There it is. And now notice that we're not using Q anymore because we know that last row is beat. So another great E, I think it was, or did it catch the bubble? Did it catch the bubble? It's always so hard with Kitsune Rush because the bubbles come off so often. No, it hits. It hits. It's just, I mean, look at the Lucio positioning now. Look at poor Lastro. Lastro's just out of the fight. Ooh, they're gonna commit to this fight. I would. Another phenomenal E. This guy's just. I mean, obviously the E's are being spoon-fed to him. Like, these aren't hard E's. But honestly, I felt like Edison was missing the ones that weren't that hard too. So I wouldn't say his E's are phenomenal, but they're pretty decent. We're consistently hitting the ones that we should be hitting, you know? And that could be a skill in and of itself, right? So like, for example, we talk about like zoning backline E's versus splitting E's. You could use E right now on Pelican and force everybody to leave and then probably isolate Lastro and Cart, which would create a potential kill opportunity, right? Would that E get a lot of tickies? Probably not, but it might still lead to a kill. So I would say E now, there's your opportunity right now. Opportunity is not taken. So then now you're focusing on something else. Oh my gosh. That's wild. There's again, did you see the splitting either? Why are we Eing? So that this guy can't rotate. Ends up being the Kiriko, which is like whatever, but yeah. To be honest, we'd probably just see Q now. 3, 2, 1. As soon as anything green shows up, we're gonna see Q. Oh wow, no, we're not. We got greedy. Proper got greedy. Gave up good positioning. He pursued, they didn't get the kill, and then he got stuck in no man's land, and actually Houston takes the better positions. That's actually crazy. But Shock should have a recontest as long as they die in cart. Get out, 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 out. Yep, they'll get a recontest. This is why they were talking about taking that early fight. This is exactly why. Look at that. Look at the margin of error. If they'd let that cart move at all, Shock would have had to take a 4v5. 3, 2, 1, now. Surely. There it is. It was after the railgun. Okay. Fair enough. And that's it. So, congratulations to Proper making the grand finals. Proper, mechanically good. But some things that really stood him out from the Sojourns that we've seen so far, specifically Edison, a little bit of the other Sojourns, I guess we saw a little bit of Kevster as well, a little bit of Sparker as well. Something that really stood out for me. Did a better job prioritizing pre-fight charge. Was smarter with the pre-fight charge duel. In other words, okay, when he couldn't get pre-fight charge, he played smarter around that. Obviously the mechanical, like very good mechanically, right? That's not a surprise there. But the other thing as well, which was not a surprise to me, but was cool to see, was so much more consistent with E placement in terms of causing a split and not clunking at a monkey bubble. So better cooldown usage, better pre-fight charge, better mechanics than from what we saw from Edison. So I guess in terms of, I mean, you could say playstyle, cooldown usage, mechanics, really just a little bit better in every aspect. And that just leads to so many more plays, so many more one neutrals. Obviously, we saw probably could have seen a little bit better use of like tracking enemy support ults. I think we saw a couple of whiffed E's, so I wouldn't say his E usage was far from perfect, impossibly perfect, really. But yeah.